Hello, welcome to the Hyperthetical podcast, episode 1. So it's going to be a train wreck. Today I'm joined with Luke, otherwise known as Dieselstern.
Hello.
And Chris, otherwise known as a Chris Only or Nationally Funny.
Hello.
I am your host of today, Banter, otherwise known as Callum. So, what is hypothetical? Well, hypothetical is where we're proposing a topic or question and then analysing that topic to hopefully come up with a solution to the answer that you never knew you wanted. These topics could be anything. Could be twerking so hard your back breaks. Is it possible? We don't know. Let's find out. So, the topic of today is, can hamster power solve the climate crisis?
Okay.
Are we down with that, boys?
What do you mean by climate crisis?
So, the energy crisis, the reliance on fossil fuels. Can we make a renewable energy which is powered by hamsters? I know everyone's probably had the thought that, you could power something using a hamster on a wheel. I figured we could explore that and find out if you could actually solve it.
This is the perfect question for me, since this is my field. I'm studying.
Oh, no way. You're studying hamsters?
Yeah, I'm studying hamsters. Yeah, I'm studying a renewable energy degree at university right now, so this is right on my street. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. Right. Well, what are we thinking? Who's pro? Who's con? Who's devil's advocate?
I should probably be pro.
Okay.
I should probably disagree.
Yeah?
Okay.
I'm quite disagreeable anyway,
I'm in two halves. I don't know.
I don't think you are, Chris, actually. I disagree.
You don't think so? You disagree with I'm disagreeable.
I'm relatively unsure. I can see how it could, but there's probably a reason it has been done. What ways could we feasibly do this? Or not?
You'd have to talk about kinetic energy, because that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's motion.
Yeah, you're transferring hamster energy into kinetic energy.
Yeah.
And then into electrical energy. So
I don't think we should limit ourselves here. As everyone knows, hamsters are probably the most crazy pet you could ever own.
Suicidal.
They are very suicidal.
Gary, help me! Come here and help him right now. He's hanging himself.
Very well known for having the most gruesome deaths known to man and hamster.
They die by loneliness. That's
really?
That's another thing you have to. I'm pretty sure.
I know they also eat their own babies.
Right.
I think they just have an inherent need to die, which means we don't need to feel immoral about what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing as well.
We're treating it like it's not real. It's almost like an object, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
It's almost as if this is like hypothetical. Or
and they make a lot of babies as well. Like they're kind of self-sustaining as a species.
Very sustainable.
They're also completely extinct in the wild. In theory, we're doing their population a benefit.
Can we fact check that?
Well,
Someone fact check that.
thanks to a-z-animals.com, I found that there are around 57 million hamsters in the world.
God.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I don't believe that at all.
So
I disagree.
you
Get out.
No, okay. Wild hamsters are found throughout much of Europe and Asia, says kids.nationalgeographic.com. And I've just learned that you don't spell hamsters with a P. Okay. Right.
What?
The hamsters, not hamsters. I thought they were hamsters. On research, hamsters can run at 5 to 6 miles per hour, which is about the average speed of an American. And I'm thinking, if we slap a motor on it, a motor, depending on the size, is going to have resistance.
Well, what motor are we talking about? That's you'd have to make a specialized motor for a hamster.
I think maybe we can, for the sake of argument, we could probably discount the resistance of the motor, because you could get a motor with 0 resistance. It's just going to be really inefficient with no gearbox. Wikipedia.org has just told me how far a hamster can run. Do you want to guess?
Right.
How far it can run? How fast?
No, how far?
I reckon
In one night.
5k.
So it's
I reckon
sprint.
5k.
5k.
Yeah.
Nah, I said 2.5.
9k.
9k.
9 kilometers in one night.
No,
That's
guys, halfway
5.6
there
miles.
to a marathon.
Can it stop?
Well, that's just in one night. That's just in 12 hours. If you kept it going all day, it could have the potential to run 18 kilometers. Wow.
Would it be more efficient to station this off Earth? Right? So say it's like a lunar.
That's
a
something I
lunar
didn't
base.
consider. Yeah. Because we would have
Because
no
then there's
air
obviously
resistance,
less Gs.
no gravity.
Yeah.
But then the hamsters would have to be born in space, and they would be all f***ed up because they haven't got gravity determining their strength.
So you have to breed a new variety of hamster
Yeah.
that's space capable.
And keep in mind, these hamsters would have to not only not breathe oxygen, but they would also have to strap themselves down to use
You're actually arguing against, though.
I don't think space is the right frontier for hamster. We're not going to get too into a hamster breeding site. Actually, yes, we are.
Okay, brilliant.
Right, hamster can have, up to 6 to 8 pups.
That's what they call little pups.
And they can be weaned in 21 to 28 days. So, in theory, every month you could have 6 to 8 pups from one hamster. So this is sustainable, you know, they're not going to die off, is what I'm getting at. Like, if you had humans doing all this, it wouldn't work, because humans would die off before you could keep reproducing them.
Yeah.
But hamsters having 6 to 8 pups I think they could replace themselves pretty fast. So
Every month.
Yeah. So in theory, hypothetically, this will work in terms of sustainability.
Yeah. Let's do the maths here. I'm on Statista.com, and I found here that the number of pet hamsters in the UK is about 600,000. So if we're thinking, so you're going to need a male and a female partner.
Yeah.
Right. So 300,000 fertile hamsters, giving us 6 to 8. Let's call it an average of 7 new baby hamsters every month.
Yeah.
What's that? Let's do 300,000 times 7. That's 2.1 million hamsters per month.
Wow.
Right? Why limit ourselves to energy generation? Why not world domination? What's the infant mortality rate for baby hamsters?
Oh god, here we go. Well, we can probably gain that from the life expectancy.
This is a proper rabbit hole, this.
Yeah,
You know,
a hamster hole.
A hamster hole, yeah.
Did you know, coincidentally, hamsters are up to 2 inches long? Hamsters live up to 2 years, although some may live longer.
18 million hamsters per year.
In 1 year, you're going to have half your hamster population die. So it'd be 300,000 hamsters die, but you get 18 million. I see that as feasible.
Yeah, but you're talking about feed. You're talking about warmth.
Oh,
so you've got to have a
point.
subsection of hamsters that have to run
many.
for the sake of the breeding program.
You know, we don't want the hamsters to be running 12 hours a day. They will probably get a bit exhausted and a bit fed up. They might unionize, you know.
I
So
think we're getting a bit too hypothetical.
Should we scale back?
Yeah, we need to pull
I
back
think
a little bit.
the logical thing to do is scale to like a city, right?
Yeah.
And we'll,
So
and we'll
how
keep
many
our hamster production at the year rate of 18 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this website, National Library of Medicine, has concluded that hamsters will eat 58 calories per day.
58 calories.
Per day. So that's 100 billion, 44 million calories per day. Times that by 365, that's 381 billion, 60 million calories per year.
Isn't 1 gram of uranium like 1.4 billion calories?
That's a good point. We could feed hamsters uranium.
Yes.
Um.
Can I just add a little side note here? I just found this. I wanted to share this, right? Just to emphasize how pathetic hamsters are.
Oh my god.
I've got here the most common cause of death for hamsters is wet tail.
Sorry.
I'd like to point out that there's no hamster hate in this podcast.
no
No
hamster
hamster hatred at all.
Shout out to all my hamster brothers out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're not
fighting the good
discriminating
fight.
against the hamsters.
Yeah. Wait on, Teaser. What website was that? And can you explain wet tail?
This is the Royal Veterinary College of University of London.
What is wet tail?
Watery diarrhea.
Oh, okay. That's a problem.
Okay.
I feel like if they're running a lot, that could be a regular thing. All right,
Yeah.
let's ignore hygiene. Just assume that we just have this pit of hamsters, you know, just
Yeah.
like a roiling pit, like almost so many that
infinite
they become a liquid, you know,
Yeah,
like just loose particles running around.
yeah.
Let's
Let's say, shall we? What sort of size city do we want to power?
Luton.
Luton. Okay. Then let's. How many houses in Luton?
we could go for a well-known city, Chris.
We
The
could do
hypothetical
Birmingham.
city of hamsters.
We could do Birmingham.
No, let's do
Amsterdam.
Milton Keynes.
Should we do
No,
do Hamsterdam? Because it's a
Amsterdam.
hypothetical city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Or New
A million
Hampshire.
people live in Amsterdam.
New
Right.
Hampshire.
Right?
Okay. Only 883,000 people in Amsterdam. If we're talking, there's probably 400,000 houses
Yeah.
in if we're saying like 2.4 people per house. So the average house uses about 0.5 kilowatt hours per hour.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if
God,
we
it's
if we
gonna hurt
scale
my
this
brain.
up, I'll do the maths for you.
Okay.
But if we scale this up, I'll get our yearly kilowatt hour need of
I'm just
electricity.
researching the calories here. What's a well-known food? A Twinkie. Should we do a Twinkie? So if we divide the calorie intake of hamsters by the calories of a Twinkie, we would have to feed them 100,587,700,000 Twinkies per year.
Wow.
Wouldn't all the hamsters get diabetes after a sustained amount of Twinkie usage?
I mean, we're not really worried about their health. They're born to die. So
Okay.
Okay, and apparently 400 million Twinkies are produced per year, which means we would only need to increase the output of Twinkies by 300% to feed all these hamsters. And as we're getting rid of fossil fuels for this solution, I feel like we could afford to, I don't know, just turn the rainforest into a Twinkie factory or something. You know what I mean? Like, we're freeing up space for wind farms that we could just replace with Twinkie production. We solved the climate crisis. I think this is feasible.
So on a normal little hamster wheel, the average hamster can reliably ballpark 0.5 joules per second while running on a traditional hamster wheel, right? A human can do 100 watts every 6 hours on a treadmill.
Oof! Don't.
So-
No. All right. Before
Yeah.
anyone in the comments says we're not using human labor that was made illegal a couple of hundred years ago. We're ignoring that one, unless you're in Saudi Arabia, of course. No shade.
So apparently a hamster with infinite stamina didn't need to sleep. So you'd have to breed that first. You'd have to somehow get over the fact that it needs to sleep and have a break.
Yeah.
Can produce up to 15.77 megajoules per year.
Right. I'm just thinking, right? Instead of just having that first batch of hamsters breeding, what if we say we breed the two sets of 300,000 hamsters together, and then we breed their children together.
Yeah.
So we multiply the population by a bigger factor.
Let's assume in this hypothetical inbreeding isn't a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can multiply that factor by 18 million per year. All right, presuming we figure out some sort of way of in vitro fertilization to make sure we have a 100% success rate all the time.
Yeah.
This is a lot of hamsters. Hamster cloning, in other words.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see this outside Star Wars. So, in theory, this is possible. Like, we just have to calculate how possible. You know what I mean?
It depends if you have to use the entire surface area of the planet as hamster training grounds. I don't know.
2 trillion hamsters at the end of the first year. 2 trillion hamsters.
Right.
Wow.
If we then divide that by Chris's figure of 2,465,
Yeah.
Yes.
we could, in theory, power
To the power of what is it? to the power of?
822 million homes.
Really?
How many homes are there? That might be enough. How many houses are there on the planet?
I'm looking up homes in Amsterdam. Oh,
There's
bloody
2.3 billion houses.
But we're just talking.
according to architectural
hell. We're
design.
just talking Amsterdam at the moment. Amsterdam.
Okay. What?
Okay,
Easily
so there's
2.3 billion.
4.5 million homes in Amsterdam. That is
4.5
from the
million.
Netherlands in Numbers 2020.
So,
Reads.com.
in theory, we could power 182 Amsterdams.
In 1 year.
I believe this is feasible.
This is feasible. We would have to have size of that production farm would have to be pretty big. So how many hamsters did you say it was? 1 point.
I said
2 trillion.
2 trillion hamsters
Yeah.
at the end of the first year.
Trillion.
That is
Okay.
also accounting for the mortality rate.
Assume we had all these hamsters on like a massive wheel. Okay. So the length of a hamster is 13 to 18 centimeters. So if we take an average, a mean of that, I don't know what the word is, average, median, mean, whatever. If we take the middle of that, about 15 centimeters. So 15 times 2 trillion. So okay, we will need a 300 million kilometer long hamster wheel.
What if? Wait.
That's apparently that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the fact that the average hamster defecates 20 times a day, right?
Oh, no!
It would quickly clog up. So the average, so for the one house, it would be 10,000 kilograms of poop every single day.
So it would be 7,500 Earths, that wheel, which is quite big. It's 110 suns in size, this hamster wheel.
100, right.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's
So you'd have to
scale back.
dismantle a planet.
Let's scale back.
What's the most
hang on.
boring planet? Mercury. Get rid of it.
What if instead of destroying the sun, right?
We throw them into the sun. Oh, no.
we instead breeded enough hamsters, 2,465 per household. We breeded enough hamsters to give a small army of hamsters to each household to constantly generate their electrical needs. What if
How
we did
many
that
hamsters
instead?
would we need?
That's quite simple. We would need
2,000.
2,465 multiplied by the amount of houses. I don't know much about Dutch history, but from what I do know is they do have attics. So I think we could put the hamsters in there.
That amount of hamsters would only be 0.3 kilometers. Only be 300 meters. Realistically, that's quite a small hamster wheel.
What if we had multiple wheels per house? Say we had 2,465
Well, that's the thing. We
hamsters
couldn't
per
use
house,
a wheel.
and then we had maybe 240 wheels, 10 hamsters per wheel.
Okay, that could work. 240
Yeah.
wheels. That's quite small.
What if we converted their waste into fuel, into biofuel?
But we don't want to burn things. That's not solving the climate crisis. That's just making things more burnable.
Burn them on Mars.
Yeah.
Get fossil fuels there. Restart their atmosphere,
That's not
and
how
then we've got a
fossil
second
fuels
planet to do all this on.
No,
Right?
that's not. We don't want to. We're trying to solve the climate crisis, not make a second planet to burn.
We cause global warming on Mars.
Can we make an atmosphere with nothing but greenhouse gases?
And hamster debris.
Let's be realistic here.
We're missing out on some key energy that we could generate from their waste.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
that's
what
already
if
that's
we,
already
what if
a
we
thing.
compost it?
Stick it in a big a vat, and it releases like methane and whatever, and then you use the methane and turn that into biofuel. By burning biofuel, you don't release bad chemicals. You
Oh,
release
do you
like,
not? Okay.
water and hydrogen and stuff.
Okay, I see that. And then that just gives us an extra bit. So in theory, we'd have to like do half the hamsters. So 100 wheels in your house rather than 200. Yay. But then we're just assuming they're on wheels. You know, we could put them on multi-story buildings and then all have them on treadmills. And then you can maximize your potential by increasing it upwards exponentially or downwards into the earth. That way, you would compact everything to like one space on the planet. Replace Milton Keynes with a giant hamster factory that just constantly generates energy. And that is your climate crisis sorted.
Yeah.
Rishi Sunak, or whoever the Prime Minister is by the time this comes out, probably would have
He might
20
have
by
someone
then.
new.
Yeah, that eat your heart out.
We've solved it.
We've solved the climate crisis, lads.
Yeah. So do something about it, guys. UN, where are you?
Where are you?
Let's not all forget, right? It's not about the climate crisis, but it's about the hamsters we made along the way.
Oh, that's a beautiful little side note. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I think we came up with a reasonable solution. I don't think that's too outside the realms of possibility.
Honestly, I don't think that's actually that unfeasible.
Surprisingly, it's not. I came
Yeah.
into this thinking it probably isn't feasible, but I think it might be, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
But that's the point in the show. We're not trying to get too realistic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could say, like, I don't know, how many hamsters would it take to topple the United Kingdom? Probably one.
Probably not many.
Yeah.
Probably a few hundreds. Yeah.
We'll be coming up with wacky and crazy hypotheticals every so often. Every time we release a video, it'll be a new thing. It won't always be about hamsters. If you come here for hamster content, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It could be about anything, you know? Could you melt a human into a liquid? I don't know. Could you? That could be the second episode. The point is, if you liked this video and you want to see more of it, go subscribe to the Hyperthetical YouTube channel, or you can follow this podcast on Spotify and never miss an episode. And I hope you enjoyed it. So,
Yeah.
thank
Nice.
you from me, Callum Bantermain, as I'm known on YouTube.
Thank you from me, Luke, or Diesel Stern, as I am probably more well known as.
And thank you from me, Chris. Just Chris.
Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.